Our next speaker had been a member of Toastmasters for 8 years, including serving time as a board member. Puzzle extraordinaire, she has celebrated the completion of her largest puzzle, 24,000 pieces, a masterpiece. We know Donna keeps the engaging meetings enterprise going behind the scenes. She has a front row seat to engaging meetings and retreats, and also those retreat shenanigans. Her drive to keep the attendees, speakers, and the founder fed, hydrated, and moving forward. She is now bringing her insight, lessons, and stories to all of us and to the stage. Welcome, Donna Cunningham. Let's hear it for her. Woohoo!
Who is an extrovert here? Who is an introvert here? Who's both? Okay. I think all of us are a little bit of both, but it's like a measure of what percentage at what time and what situation. And we have to build up and get that, feed that energy. So I'm more of an introvert. And John Chen is the most extroverted person I know, as opposed to my son, who's the most introverted person that I know. Anyway, so I want to take you back to March of 2020. John and I were just coming back from 2 weeks in Florida. We rode the Rise of the Resistance in Disneyland and had some people on the plane wearing masks. And we're like, what's this? What's going on? Not sure. Then John had 15 canceled programs in the month of March. His whole business is just wiped out for the year. And he started a happy hour. We had it once a week, and it was so bad that then we had to have it twice a week because we had all these mic drop moments. Not literally, Adam. We did not literally drop the mics, but they were mic drop moments of people talking about how silly their management was. And we had people from around the world. We had Jimbo Clark in Taiwan. We had James Bishop in Hong Kong. And we had people in the UK and Australia, everywhere, and in New York. And it was really, really cool in my nurse brain and looking at all the charts of the progressions of hearing firsthand what was going on there and comparing it to the news that we were getting. But most of these people were in the hospitality industry, speakers, meeting planners, and it was depressing. And I was working a lot because cancer didn't stop during COVID. And the company I was working for at the time, we did release three drugs in the pandemic. I'm kind of proud of that. But anyway, back to John Chen. What did he do? Well, he wasn't depressed. He was a little down and just kind of like, yeah, we'll have these happy hours and lift people up and here and give them a space to grieve and connect and rise up. So that's when he started teaching the engaging method. And I remember we were out on a walk and we were trying E and N and G. What? Engaging. Okay, engage in each and every attendee. Makes sense, right? You go into a meeting, you say, hi, how are you doing, Gary? Thank you so much for donating all that lovely wine on that. And, we worked out the letters and then he's writing his, okay, sorry, I have to go backwards a minute. The previous book he had was 50 digital team building games, if you know about this. And the library was having it go off the shelves during COVID because they needed to do something virtually to keep their employees entertained. And it's the pandemic. We need to have them not be depressed because it's the pandemic. So John's publisher calls him and says, hey, you want to rewrite your book? And John's like, yeah, I got time. And he's working, he's typing, he's writing, and eventually it becomes a whole new book rather than a rewrite of the first book. And so Do you remember what's going on the summer of 2020 in the world, like Minneapolis, George Floyd? Yeah. And in Seattle, we had CHOP, which was our protest in Seattle. And John was watching it on Streamed Up. Streamed On? I don't know. He's the technical one. And so he doesn't tell people about that, of how he was involved. He had new people on the front line, and he had met the police chief. I had met her, and this incredible job that she was doing, that it was a bad time, but we got through it. No one was seriously injured, and we moved on. But his brain was half there as he's writing. It's in there. Anyway, so he is writing, and as he says, his publisher's greatest joke was, how long will COVID last? And so he's doing it really quickly. So we have October as the time when it's going to happen. And he goes, I've always wanted to do a conference. I think we could just do a virtual conference. We've got all these people I've been training, and everybody knows how to use Zoom now, right? Okay. And we should have packets to send out. I'm trying to remember who had the packets to send out. Does anyone remember? They sent out to all the attendees. Well, Mel handed me this today. And these are what the original packets looked like. Big box. And we have to go back to the happy hours. Sorry about that. I got to run one by myself because sometimes he'd let me go rogue. and I'm like, we needed some ideas for this conference. Pick up something that's on your desk that you got at a conference or a trade show or something that you use. And those are the ideas I wrote down. And, you're looking through things and it's like, okay, we've got pens, we've got highlighters, what can we do? Well, first off, we have to give out the book because it's a book. And the brilliant thing is this is blank so you can see that he signed the name, that there's space on the front rather than the front page of the book, because it takes a lot of time to open a front page of a book, but it's signed right away. Oh, okay. Puzzles. Yes, I'm the puzzle queen. So we have a puzzle box in the very first conference. We had a contest. So we sent this out and say, don't put it together yet. If you haven't put it together, then you can participate and win something. I think it was an hour of John's time where he did a game for families or something. Oh, that's not it. That's something else. Sorry. But I do have a treat here. This is Jimbo Clark's box. Literally, it goes on your head. I can't do this with the mic on and my hair up, but yeah, amazing. And I've done the box many times, and when I was doing it with the little paper and on the thumb, I've kept all my boxes. All right. Let's see what other goodies is. Instruction sheets, welcome letter, thank you, from John. We had a meeting, a doodler, I guess. He drew pictures about the whole meeting so you knew what was going on, and don't let's see. Deeper, the acronym for their Deeper Experimental Emotional Program. Exposed rooms. Sorry. It's always packed with lots of stuff. And then welcome to the conference. And a coloring sheet. I wanted to have rainbows and figuring out what we needed. Clean your lenses. Both your glasses and your camera. What do you need? And then drink ice. You got it, Gary. Yes. Drink ice water. Now, the sad part about the original drink ice water, we wanted it to be a coaster, but it's more of like what you put in the car, but it is antimicrobial, so I guess that was a good thing. And then the cable to always plug in so you have the best connection. Oh, mouse pad. This was actually the second year. John's niece is a fabulous artist, graphic artist, and was able to modify the book so that the people in the book are reaching out and touching each other. Because that was the experience. And when you say you can't connect online, I'm like, do you ever cry at a movie? Do you ever laugh at a movie? Do you ever feel that? I mean, you're connecting online. You just don't realize it. But anyway, so Carissa, right, the niece, she's here in Seattle. Okay, so I insisted on Post-its because, yes, because neurologically, when you're writing, it goes into your brain differently than when you're typing or even listening. You'll remember it easier because, yeah. And then this pen, it's 5 different things. There's a screwdriver in here, Phillips and standard on the end. It's a stylus, it's a ruler, it's a level, and it's a pen. Because, you want to get busy, your tools. All right, this is almost the piece de resistance. The no sorry zone. And Kathy Armias, John referred to her, said, you just need to recreate that because everybody's saying sorry, sorry, sorry. And it's like, it's as bad as the filler words in Toastmasters. Stop saying sorry for everything unless you really did something bad and then say what you're sorry for doing. Anyway. So the sorry zone became the whiteboard paddles that you could write, you're on mute, or, check your fly. I guess that's what we also learned here today. So very helpful. All right. Oh, this box. I wasn't sure what this is. Okay. And this is probably not my most brilliant idea, but those little candies that you would get at conferences, itty bitty ones. I put them in the little wrappers with the bows. Anyway, but also within this was a warhead candy. Have anybody ever had one of those? Really? So Sardi Glove, who rode the rise of the resistance with us in Florida, he did a segment in the first engaging meeting. And his talk was timed. Everybody put that candy in their mouth, and he would talk about the intensity and, okay, it's really bitter, it's really sour, it's really intense. And now you got the sweetness, don't you? Is it coming through? It was just the eloquent flow of the joining of everybody's taste. And that was one of the things that people said. You have to check all the senses. Well, the lifesaver, the mint. You can smell it, you can taste it, and everybody needs a lifesaver, especially during COVID. You need a lifesaver. So we switched to Smarties from these candies because we're all smart, and I was tired of wrapping them. You don't need, but it's great movie night. Okay, I think we're done with that one. So for this adventure, we'll have to get that to Jenna Finesse. Don't know why it was returned. Were some of the failures that I put into people's bags that didn't make it to the cut, and it's really sad when the addresses and they came back. I learned all about media mail. It's a very efficient way to send stuff. And you all now have the new improved coaster. So drinking ice water is really good for your vocal cords, really important. You hydrate the day before you have a speech, and then during the speech, you're drinking ice water because you're basically cooling down that strain if you've strained it. All right. And this one didn't fly. You've got 2 minutes to talk. Here. And they're like, yeah, we can't brand it. Okay, well, then we won't use that one. How about a clapper? Can we brand that? Put a sticker on it? Okay, no, don't want to do it because we're just going to irritate all the parents and the kids are going to come in. Drinking straw. When we're not at the meetings anymore, we're at home, so we don't really need to carry. When we're back at meetings, maybe we'll do this one again. Okay, put that in the back of our heads. And the big, the big whiteboard. That was another idea that we had. And then it was like, yeah, we can't really brand it as well. And the paddle was, okay, we can have a whiteboard and a paddle and the pen, and that's where we went. So the erasers that went with that. So everybody got little goodies. And then it's Seattle. The emergency poncho. Everybody has one. This is from John's team building games or geo teaming. He always put them in the backpacks for people if they were doing their little adventures. We have hundreds of these. So let me know if you want some. And I keep saying we should just hang out at the Mariners game and give them away. So we had a housemate at the time, and I was doing a presentation. It was like one of the first presentations I got to do with the company during the pandemic. And I was like, I'm ready. I've got my mountain hat on, and we had planned it all out. And our housemate comes by the door and starts rattling outside my office. And I'm like, stop. Anyway. So we needed an on-air and off-air sign to alert them. The lights weren't enough. But it also became handy, how many people have doors, the kids and everything. So it's become a very useful thing. And then turn on the damn camera. All about psychological safety. And I do want to kind of mention, so the first conference, I can't remember how long it was. I think it started at 8 a.m. and ended at 10 p.m. Yeah, it's very long. We had art, we had meditation, we had Zumba. I did bingo. I did COVID bingo. We had positive things that happened and negative things that happened, and then really strange things on it. But it was a very long day, and John was supposed to eat during Zumba. But, Debbie Ann was so exciting, he decided to just join in and, here's your food. Here's your water. So keep drinking your water. So it's a long day, and John is a Energizer Bunny. He's got many gears. So that first one. I think it was the second one, psychological safety. Darlisa. And she was a lovely attendee, very involved and on camera. And she's like, I just don't understand what psychological safety is. I'm like, Darlisa, you just demonstrated it. You didn't know something, and you felt safe enough to ask us about it. That's wonderful. She's like, oh, okay. We just so many memories. I do want to talk about my outlaw mom. So my ex-mother-in-law, she kept me. So, and she became John's intern. At age 70, she went back to college. So that's what you need to do when you're 70. Just put that in the back of my head. And she's like, she ran Zoom meetings. She learned how to run them from John. And she's like, I have this idea because they're doing it really crappy here. So John, met with the professor, and they did that, and she attended the meetings. And then on the first day of the conference, she dropped her laptop. And she's in outside of Chicago, Illinois. By day 2, she's got her laptop replaced. And one of her things she was doing was handwriting thank you notes to the attendees. She was taking notes and chatting with people. She was a saleswoman. And when she worked at the furniture store, she always hand wrote the notes out to people. And I was like, oh. And she was then also involved in our karaoke and would attend. And she didn't sing. She'd tell stories and shock the bejeezies off of people because, she's a sweet old lady. But just kind of that. She was a delight, and unfortunately, we lost her in May of 2024. Just a peach. But, it's kind of like involving the family and who we are in the community, and it just has blended together. We are. And I have to say that, it's been a true pleasure to be part of this community and to see it grow from behind the scenes to this. This is the 6th year, the second in-person and hybrid, which thank you, Joe, for doing such a fabulous job as our MC. And just the help of people. It was like Matthew walking in going, "Can I wash the dishes?" Yes, you can. Thank you. It's everybody's willing to pitch in and help. And that's how we pull this off. We could not pull it off without you. And I just want to thank you for being here. And, it has been my blood, sweat, and joy to be a part of this.